country music sucks, you know? They always talk about trucks and girls and tight jeans and dirty roads. It's trash. I like country music. I think country music is sick. Today we're gonna talk about the new debut album of the band duo Plains. I Walk With Your Ways. This duo is composed by, of course, Jess Williamson and Katie Crutchfield from Waxahatchee. Now, this is a classic country album that we are very lucky to have right now, because we're talking about two great artists that have worked in great projects before. Of course, I'm talking about St. Cloud by Waxahatchee and Sorceress. I Walk With Your Ways is an amazing album to come back to that classic country music we fell in love to when we were growing up. I'm not even gonna start talking about how modern country is not that good and how country radio has ruined country music forever. I'm not gonna start that conversation, okay? I think actually modern country can be done in a very interesting way. Like, let's just talk about Orville Peck. I mean, he clearly redefined what modern country could be. But what we're gonna talk about today is how these new artists are bringing back that classic 80s and 90s country that we grew up with and we fell in love with back in the day. We're obviously gonna start talking about the first song of this record, which is called Summer Sun. It's a song about how a relationship is almost over and there's nothing you can really do to fix it. And I think it's just better to just leave it alone. It's basically one of those relationships where you know it's gonna end sooner or later, but you try to like warn your partner about it, but he doesn't really catch on to that like later along the line where the thing is just way overdue and there's nothing you can do to fix it. It's a great introduction for this record and it totally sets the vibe of what we're gonna be listening to for the past 30 minutes. After all, this is not a very lengthy album. It's only half an hour long. And I think that's perfect because it just has the perfect amount of songs and the perfect amount of stuff that we need to have it. You know, no more, no less, it's just perfect. Talking about perfect, we're gonna talk about the second track of this album, which is called Problem With It, and it's by far my favorite song of this record. I mean, it's just so strong, it's so powerful, it's rocky, and you can't help but just dance and sing along. It's just such a great song, it's amazing, I totally recommend it. There's not enough words to describe how good the song is. I think the best thing you can do is just go ahead and listen to this song right here. Now, Line of Sight though really hits where you need it to hit. The chorus is so great, I mean it's such a banger, this song. It's truly exciting, the guitar is so sweet, the vocals are beautiful, but the chorus, I mean the chorus is just so great. Just go ahead and listen to it. I think it's just positive, you know, and I feel like I really like some positiveness in a record that would be full of heartbreak and breakups and lovers and all that stuff. I think it's a great balance of meaning in this record. About the next track, Abilene, it's alright. I feel like Abilene, it's classic, you know, it's traditional, but you know, there's really nothing about this song that sets it apart from any other decent country song that has ever existed. I mean, it's an okay song, it's a good song, but you know, it's an album song, it's a filler song, there's nothing wrong with it, but there wasn't really like nothing that moved me or was different or anything. I think just a nice track, and that's it. Now we jump to Hurricane, which actually is way tender than previous tracks. And this is ironic considering that the song is called Hurricane. You'd expect something powerful and bombastic, but it's not. It's quite kind and quite soft. And it was necessary because, you know, the past four songs have been quite exciting and powerful and loud. And I feel like we needed like a more grounded song at this point. It's the type of song that would totally fit in St. Cloud by Waxahatchee. After the end of the day, we're talking about Katie Crutchfield. We're definitely gonna see those influences catching on in this record. Bellafatima though, I think is the kind of song I like. It's basically poetry transformed into a song. I think it's allegorical, it's specific, it's carefully crafted. I think it just takes you to a different place and a different point in time. Now we jump to the song called Last to Unearth. And what I've noticed so far is that in this album we've had songs where the chorus repeats itself even 3 times or 4 times. I mean, all the time. And I think that's great because we usually see, in modern country more like the chorus being repeated like twice and then we have like a bridge or something, like very Taylor Swift style. This album tries to come back to that classic country formula that was like, let's just repeat this chorus all over again, and the chorus is always a banger. It certainly is for this song specifically. Just classic 80s 90s country song. I totally recommend it. The next track is called Easy, and ironically it's actually about how things are not going to be easy. It's just a very beautifully descriptive but also simple way of understanding how hard it is to just move on, even if things are left off in a very healthy way. Despite all the heartache and all the pain that you may have, you still have some appreciation for the other person. In my experience, the relationships or the breakups that hurt the most are the ones that are left off in a very healthy way. I mean, the unhealthy relationships actually don't hurt that much in my opinion. And I feel like this song is trying to portray that feeling exactly. And I think that's beautiful. Now, we are already in the last 2 songs of this album, and it has definitely been a journey. And what better for a journey than the perfect traveling song? The drums are enthusiastic, the bass is bombastic, it's very sing-alongy. I mean, it just shows the point in time where you're ready to just, move on. Accepting that somewhere in the way, the relationship just got lost in translation, and there's nothing really wrong with that. But it also tries to just show some appreciation to the concept of love and falling in love, because at the end of the day, it's about still reminding yourself that even if love comes again, there's really nothing wrong about chasing it with patience and kindness, even if later on it's gonna break you again. It's just about part of the deal, and this song describes it perfectly because there's no record of wrongs in love, and you can't stop it, you can't pause it, and when it comes, you better just hold into it. The last song of this album is actually titled after the title of this album, I Walk With You Always, and it's basically the perfect closure for this album because it's about just, how people will never really watch over you, people will change you, will break your heart, and at the end of the day, the only one that can make things better for yourself is, your own self. A song that is about understanding the seasons of love and the seasons of moving on. And maybe if you feel sad right now or stuck right now, you don't have to worry because, another season will come where you'd be able to work on yourself and feel better about yourself. I think it's about positiveness and acceptance and reliance on yourself, and also acceptance on other people's understandings of love. I think it's very mature, it's very powerful, the message is amazing. I mean, we know this. We're talking about Katie Crutchfield and we're talking about Jess Williamson. They're great songwriters that have a very deep understanding of love and heartbreak and lovers and everything. So I feel like it's just the perfect record to just listen to and just understand a different concept of what love may mean. This record was beautiful front to back. Nostalgic country is definitely coming back stronger than ever, and I just can't wait to listen to this album again after I finish this video. I mean, the album is great, and if I were to describe this record in any way, I would call it a modern classic actually. This was my review of the new album by Planes, I Walk With You Always. I hope you liked this review. If you enjoyed it, you can like this video, you can subscribe to my channel, maybe leave a comment about your own opinion, and yeah, that's it. I hope we can keep in touch.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.